Old hotels and the towns they were built to serve usually cater to a certain type of business. Some were built along railroads, serving travelers and workers alike. Others were built in towns that served the oil business or other types of industry. But in Amarillo, where beef is big business, cattlemen came, and when they needed a nice place to lay their head, that place was the Herring Hotel. Today, we're in Amarillo, Texas, to explore this magnificent structure.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
Amarillo, Texas. This is cattle country, and this is the Herring Hotel. It's been closed for decades, but it still stands like a beacon in downtown Amarillo. And here to show us around this old structure is historian Michael Grauer.
We're standing in the Hotel Herring, which was ultimately the political, civic, cultural, and commercial center of Amarillo after it was opened in 1926. And it was the finest hotel certainly between Dallas and Denver, and certainly to the west as well. So this is where all the deals were made. This is where people came to stay in style and also to make and break those oil and cattle deals, especially cattle deals. Because of course, ultimately the namesake is Colonel C.T. Herring, who was a very important cattleman and oil man in the region. Most of his interests were actually down in the Wichita Falls area, and then he moves back up here and starts investing in land and cattle, acquires parts of different ranches that had been here since the 1870s, around the turn of the last century, and eventually is investing in properties in commercial parts of Amarillo, and invests in building the Herring Hotel because he wanted a fine place for these deals to be made. For people when they came to Amarillo, saw that Amarillo was in fact a cultural center and a thriving city.
But once the Herring closed, it was taken over by none other than the federal government. We hope to dig beneath the surface and find some remnants of the Herring's past. Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Oh, good to see you. Welcome to the Herring.
Thank you. So, you know, some of this doesn't look quite as old, but I'm looking, you know, you got paneling here and things like that, but then as I'm walking up, I'm noticing behind that some nice stone.
Right, it's beautiful, as you can see, vinyl paneling that over some particle board that was glued to the stonework that was originally here in the Herring, and so that attempt to modernize, which goes on all across the country, especially by the federal government, you can see the evidence is still there of the fineness of this building.
Well, we want to kind of walk through and see some examples of the Herring from its original state.
Good.
Which would be, you know, I understand the federal government was in here sometime between the late 60s and mid 70s.
Mid 70s, correct. Yes, sir.
And so they're kind of responsible for some of what we see here on the first floor.
Yep.
But as we dig a little, we start to see more examples of the Herring.
Absolutely.
And I understand that in taking off some of what they've done, you've been able to find some of what was the original storefront.
That's exactly right. Yes.
So let's start with that, and then we'll explore the Herring Hotel here in Amarillo.
Great.
All right. So I guess these are government walls.
Yes, metal stud and sheetrock.
Wow.
Finest kind. The best way to do it if you want to cover something up.
Yeah, but they did cover up something. What is this?
This glass block was part of the original structure, and in order to mute the light, not only from the inside by putting in a stud wall here, they also put stone aggregate panels on the outside all across the ground floor. So
really,
it covers up all the beauty of the Herring on the ground floor.
These were the original storefront?
Glass blocks, yeah. Like most of these hotels, they had commercial space all the way through on the ground floor, and you see these hotels that have been restored in Dallas and Houston and other places as well, so the Herring fits right in with that.
Now, I couldn't help but notice when I came in, this balcony that goes all the way around.
Right, the mezzanine.
Yes. Can we see that?
Absolutely, let's go.
I want to get a closer look. Yeah, I don't think this is 40s vodka, but it's in the right spot anyway.
It is indeed, yes sir, yes sir. So this is where you got the machinery oil to do whatever deal it was. You're up here.
Expedition Texas, presented by the City of Canton, Texas, home of world-famous First Monday Trade Days. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at eastlandtexas.com. And by Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more. Visit clifton.org for more information. What started more than a century ago as a flea market has become home to the most exciting shopping experience anywhere. First Monday Trade Days in Canton, Texas brings shoppers face to face with 7,000 vendors from all over the country selling everything imaginable. Couple that with the small town hospitality of local businesses and you have a good reason to visit every month. The market is held Thursday through Sunday, the weekend before the first Monday of every month, rain or shine. Plus, there's lots to see and do every day in Canton. Learn more at visitcantontx.com.
Hi, I'm Larry Vernon, Mayor of Eastland, Texas. Eastland is a wonderful city strategically located in the heart of Texas on I-20 and Highway 6. We offer a small community feel with exceptional amenities, often found only in cities many times our size. Here you'll find shovel-ready sites for your development projects, an enthusiastic workforce, blue ribbon schools, quality health care, and a progressive, business-friendly city and state government. We welcome you to Eastland.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in Amarillo, Texas, exploring the once fabulous Herring Hotel. The hotel represents the wealth of the cattle and oil business in the Texas Panhandle, and it once was a popular spot for cattle barons and oil barons to conduct their business. Though it's been unoccupied for decades, there's still much to see.
Well, we know Colonel Herring wanted the finest of the fine in his hotel because we know that he imported woodwork from Great Britain for his private home here in Amarillo. So the fountain that you see in the lobby was imported from Italy. He wanted the finest of the fine, as I said before, and he wanted a showpiece. And the fountain is remembered by Amarilloans from several generations ago as one of the finest things in the lobby and also the Herring Hotel. And then the mezzanine that we're standing on now had multiple purposes: a casual meeting space, primarily over here to the north side, and then appointed with, as you can see, fine metalwork, fine woodwork on the railings, not only here but also in the stairwells. And the mezzanine level functioned as the first Amarillo Art Center because we had art objects, mainly paintings, hanging on the walls, beginning in the late 20s and all the way up through the history of the hotel.
And just off of the mezzanine was an example of a small meeting room.
This is actually a 40s redo, brought in using glass block like we saw downstairs, and of course there you go with some lubrication.
I don't think this is 40s vodka, but it's in the right spot anyway.
It is indeed, yes sir, yes sir. So this is where you got the machinery oil to do whatever deal it was. You're up here and all the way to the curtains with oil derricks printed on the curtains, and so it continues the finery that we saw on the first floor up here.
Awesome. Sorry, I can't wet your whistle.
No, we're good.
It's empty.
This is another meeting room which was redone by the federal government, put in that 60s lovely fake wood paneling that we see all over the place, and I had them in my house when I was a kid when we dressed things up.
Probably comes down pretty easy.
Yeah, that's the hope, of course. And,
yeah.
And the tacking strip for the carpet that was laid over the linoleum tile that was laid over the original floor surface. So, it'll be like an archaeological excavation as we look to restore it.
This is got to be close to original, right?
Yes, original cast iron steam radiator was in all the rooms, of course, and then when they modernized it to a certain extent, and some of those still remain, we're fortunate that that's still here, sitting on top of the carpet that was laying on top of it, and of course, as you can see, it's a lovely shade.
Yeah.
To go along with that Fed's redo.
Green and blue.
Green and blue, yes sir. This is the Crystal Ballroom, which has been changed, of course, to a certain extent, but this was a primary meeting place and also for dances and other kind of celebrations. We know that Bob Wills played at the Herring until he just got too big and then he had to move to
this stage.
No, probably not in this stage particular. This is probably a later edition, but he did play in the Herring. We do know that. So as you can see, it's set up for fine concerts and all kinds of other things. You can see evidences of the painting of the pillars that's peeking through that, that ugly pea green paint. So all of them were painted with different southwestern motifs, cactus and so on. The chandeliers have been moved from their original locations, to accommodate the drop ceiling. Back here are the dressing rooms that were added a little bit later and to shorten the ballroom a little bit. And you can do changing rooms and other things for entertainers and also for people that were here. And the in and out doors, as you can see here.
Diamond-shaped windows?
Diamond-shaped windows, yes sir. So,
well, this is original.
It is indeed.
Yeah, I don't think they touched this one at all.
And frankly, I have no idea what some of this stuff is even for. I don't know what this raised poured concrete area is for. Obviously there's drainage here, but
well, I was going to say maybe this would have been an original stage riser, but I doubt very seriously the stage would have needed a drain.
Right, and it's also sloped, as you can see, so
yeah,
it drained something. But you wouldn't have had electrical wiring coming into it later on, as you can see. So
yeah, maybe
no
kitchen.
No telling what it was.
Yeah. More diamond-shaped doors.
This is a laundry room where some of the laundering was done. Much of it was done off-site across the street at Panhandle Laundry, and shelving for folded things and so on.
Taco Villa.
You can find all kinds of treasures in here.
This transom is still above the door.
Still operational.
And it still works.
Still operates, yes,
wow.
Sir, for ventilation.
What is Suddenlink to go? It's TV you take with you. It's your favorite shows online. It's the biggest networks on your laptop computer. And it's free to Suddenlink customers. What's Suddenlink to go? It's the easy way to get complete watching freedom anywhere you have a Wi-Fi connection. And it's another way. Suddenlink just keeps getting better. Start streaming TV to your laptop today.
We're in Amarillo, Texas, exploring the Herring Hotel. Our guide is Mike Grauer. Mike loves everything about the Herring Hotel and knows its story inside and out.
We're walking out of the service area for the kitchen and the laundry, and these double doors were for service entrance into the XIT coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
Another Western-themed part of the Herring. One of the cattle brands that run around the soffit all the way around the room. 4-6's Ranch there, for example, T-Anchor, JA, they're all over the place. And so many of them relate to historic ranches, but not all of them.
These are actual ranches?
Ranch brands, yes sir.
Oh wow. So Mike, can you show me some examples of what guest rooms would have looked like here?
We sure can, but we'll have to go up to the 4th floor.
Let's go.
Well, we're coming up to the 4th floor to see one of the guest rooms that's somewhat intact. So we'll go on in here and have a look. This is a pretty typical size room. Of course, it doesn't have any furniture or anything in it, but you can see it's quite a bit smaller than we're used to in modern hotels. But a room like this would run about $3 to $5 a night in the late 20s.
Really?
So it seems tiny to us, but remember our sense of space is much different today than it was in those days. So.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm noticing back here, this transom is still above the door.
Still operational.
And it still works.
Still operates, yes
wow.
Sir, for ventilation. Yes, sir.
Does the electricity work?
No, sir. No power today. Let's go down and look at a suite down here.
Oh, elevator.
Yes, sir. Service elevator. All the way to the basement.
Woohoo!
Be careful.
Wow. Where is the elevator car?
Possibly all the way down at the bottom with Bugs Bunny still in it.
Yeah, it is. It's just open on top.
We need Bruce Willis is what we need.
My gosh, look at that. This is a tall building. A lot of birds that pooped in there.
Yes, sir. It's an example of interconnected rooms that were used as suites where families might live in here for a long-term situation. Different rooms for kids and for entertaining and so on.
Yeah.
And They came with little kitchenettes because they basically were a home away from home, and they'd rent for about $100 a month, as near as we can deduce. That, of course, is not an original table.
It's not, but I think I found
some accompanying furniture.
a chair.
There
to
you
go
go.
with it. So at least some things
Got a
look
place-
like they go together.
There you go. There you go.
Bathrooms.
Yes, sir. This room in here would probably have been a room for Mom and Dad, because a pull-down Murphy bed came right out of the wall, you know, double doors to close it off.
Oh, really? So this is where the bed would fold up into here?
Yeah, exactly right. Yes, sir.
That's cool.
So Mom and Dad's master bedroom, in effect.
I need one of those in my house.
Yes, sir.
After exploring the guest rooms at the Herring, it was time to head downstairs, way downstairs, to the basement-level Tascosa room. This legendary room is where the oil barons and cattle barons made their deals over cigars and plenty of alcohol.
We're going down into the old Tascosa nightclub, which was one of the places in Amarillo to come and be entertained.
Are we on basement level here?
We're on the basement level now, and the entire nightclub was designed by Amarillo architect Guy Carlander. And you can see from the furring strips that something was on the wall surface,
Yeah.
and I'll show you what that is.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yes,
Looks like
sir.
something was glued to the walls.
Right, it was quarter sawn pine logs, also with the Saltillo inspired tile. And there you go. Why don't you clean up while you're here? That's good.
It's going to take a real long time this way.
There's one of those pine logs I was talking about. So they're all the way down both sides, and as you come down,
Looks like Hellraiser's dressing room.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? So you'll need a tetanus shot to get too much closer to
Yeah.
that.
Oh, look at this. A lot of dark wood in here. This is cool.
Yes, sir.
Bob, did you bring your coat down?
I didn't, but I think I have my poncho for dipping big soup. I don't know. What is this thing, really?
Cowboy son of a gun stew, man.
Yeah.
So wood paneling on all sides, pine logs in some places, regular pine boards in some other places.
So this would have been right here, what was all over.
Right. And the whole idea was like a cow camp cabin.
An underground cow camp cabin.
Yes, yes, sir.
Chicken coop, man. You can keep live chickens in here.
Perhaps.
Man, you talk about fresh meat. Expedition Texas, presented by Go Power Sports. Family fun on 4 wheels. Visit GoPowersports.com. Eastland, Texas. Find your adventure at EastlandTexas.com. Clifton, Texas, the Norwegian capital of Texas. See history, art, and more at visitclifton.org. Hi folks, Bob Malden here for Go Power Sports. Whether you're looking for an adventure on the road, off the road, or making your own road, Go Power Sports has everything you need to get rolling. My kids and I love our Trailmaster 150 XRX from Go Power Sports. And we can always keep it in top shape with their full line of parts and accessories. Visit GoPowersports.com and be sure to follow them on Facebook. Go Power Sports, your off-road go-kart specialists.
Adventures in Eastland, the home of Old Rip, the horn toad that slept in the cornerstone of the Eastland County Courthouse for 31 years. Here you'll find the Eastland Civic Center, the historic Conley Hotel, the beautiful Majestic Theater, commemorative parks, Inspiration Cross, and much, much more. Call 254-629-2332 or visit us eastlandtexas.com.
Discover Clifton, Texas. Experience the Norwegian capital of Texas and all it has to offer. History, art, and more. While you're there, visit the Bosque Arts Center or take in a movie at the Cliftex Theater, the oldest continuously operating theater in Texas. The Bosque Museum, historic downtown, the Cultural Arts District, antiques, and shopping. Plan a trip and spend the day in historic Clifton, Texas. Learn more at visitclifton.org.
You're watching Expedition Texas.
We're in Amarillo, Texas, exploring the Herring Hotel. Now we're in the basement area, home of the old Tascosa nightclub.
This is the interior of Old Tascosa, and it had red leatherette furniture all the way around the room, as well as tables and so on. And to continue with the Western theme is a series of murals that were painted by Clarendon, Texas artist H.D. Bugbee, talking about cowboy life and ranch life all the way around the room. And as you can see, this is one that's somewhat survived, although it's still somewhat in danger of disintegrating. In many ways, the murals in the Old Tascosa are Amarillo's Last Supper. They really are, because I mean, how many other mural paintings do you even find in West Texas? Yeah. They're certainly worth preserving if possible.
So this basement level, normally when we're in the basement of hotels, we're seeing old equipment, boilers, maintenance, things like that. This was all a bar?
No, well, it was a nightclub at this end, but all the equipment that you're talking about is actually over this way. So we can
so it is down here.
We can go see it. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
This way to the mechanical rooms and the equipment rooms, boilers, and so on.
Oh, through this dark, scary tunnel.
Yes, sir. We got plenty of those in the Herring.
All right.
The coolers were enormous, as you can see, and with all the number of rooms that were here. So the doors are still intact.
This is a cooler?
Yes, sir. A lot of people and a lot of food.
This was more than just a open cooling space. You got the big concrete walls, but what was this?
Well, we believe it was used primarily for produce, but you know, sometimes the guests might get unruly and you might have to put them in the cooler for a little while too. So perhaps it had a dual purpose.
Chicken coop, man. You can keep live chickens in here.
Perhaps.
Man, you talk about fresh meat. We don't really think that's what it was, folks. Now, did this hotel have a boiler room?
It did, and that's where we're headed right now.
Oh, sweet.
Before we get to the boiler, Bob, I wanted you to see the electrical panel, which, as you can see, was enormous and complicated to run the size hotel that the Herring was.
This is cool. Look at these big knife switches.
Yes, sir.
Yes, master.
You know, the service people also included electricians, plumbers, all kinds of people who were working on the mechanical parts. And so this is a workshop for those people who did that sort of thing. Drawers are still full of spare parts because things had to be interchangeable. You had to change things fairly quickly. So there's all kinds of things still here as if they just walked away.
And this is all the stuff, and it's just like here as if they just kind of left one day.
Just walked away.
Yeah. Wow.
And of course it's right next to the boiler room, which is right here.
This thing looks like the front of a locomotive.
In many ways, it's very much the same kind of technology.
Yeah. 1917.
Yep.
Is this coal?
Well, it would have originally had coal if the Herring hadn't been heated by gas, and the Panhandle gas fields were very new at the time, and so this is very forward thinking, a different way to do things than they were used to. You know, Bob, we saw bits and pieces of the Herring today, but we could be in here for several days looking all over this amazing building.
Well, what are the plans to restore this place? Obviously, you know, we go into places like this all the time where there's the goal of bringing it back.
Well, Mr. Goodrich is in negotiations and talks with a contractor that may start working on it very soon, and that's our hope, is that this grand lady will be restored to its original glory.
That's exciting news, man. Thanks for showing me around.
My pleasure entirely, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a minute. One doesn't simply go to Amarillo, Texas without a stop by the Big Texan. Next week on a special double expedition, we'll tell you the story of the famous tourist attraction, and then we'll hop in the car and head down by Galveston, Texas to the famous Bolivar Lighthouse and climb all the way to the top.